Very good evening from Malaysia. I am Lavanya here. I'm the founder of Warrior Consultancy and Learning. Apart from being a founder, I also have my own YouTube channel called Crazy Geek and a team of 4 hours. So, what we do here is actually we come up with YouTube channels to share on how to bridge the gap between what you study at college or school and what you actually apply at work. So, that is the main purpose of why we are doing this YouTube channel itself. And if you see, there is many sessions that we have done. So this particular session is about interview session with professionals. So we get professionals all around the world. So today we have a very special guest who is from India, very close to my heart. So we have Miss Priyal today, and I'm very honored to have you, and I'm very grateful that you have accepted my request. So yeah, Priyal, you want to share about yourself? How did you start it until where you are now?
Thank you so much, Lavanya, for the very warm welcome. And I was really looking forward to this session, and I'm so glad we could finally work out our timings and connect. So eagerly looking forward to what questions also you have in store for me. So to begin with my introduction, by qualification, I'm a chartered accountant who has a crazy passion for sport. I also run my own sports-based social impact organization because I look at that as my pursuit of giving back to the sports community, which has given me so much. So my entire journey in sports started off at the age of 13. So I was a very curious kid, wanted to try out everything, was into classical singing, dancing, basketball, throwball, chess, a lot of things. I would love pursuing different sports or different extracurriculars, seeing whether it is of something that interests me. And likewise, when I stumbled upon shooting at the age of 13, I was immediately smitten by the idea of being able to fire bullets. And I fell for the fact that, if I enroll for this particular program or be a part of the shooting club, I'll be able to go to the shooting range, learn to handle weapons, learn to fire a few bullets. And that is something that really excited me. So I came home that day and told my mom that this is something I want to do. And very ironically, I forgot about it the next day. But my mom remembered it. And when it was the particular day, so we had to go down to the shooting range the same week on a Saturday at 9 a.m. in the morning for the first orientation session. And luckily for my mom, she remembered it and she woke me up on a Saturday and she was like, come on, we need to go. And nor did she, nor did I know that this Saturday morning would actually be the big game changer of my life. But I think from that day, the day that I first held the rifle, there was no looking back. I realized no time that this is something I'm really passionate about. This is something that is here to stay. It had become an integral part of my life in a very short period of time. And I took things as they came. It all started from playing internal matches within school to going on to representing the school, then the city, the zone, the state. And finally, I think 18 or 20 months down the line, I made my first international debut where I represented India at Germany. So all of this happened at the age of 15. I made my first international debut at Germany. And these were the most academically crucial years because everybody expects you to focus on academics when you have your 10 boards coming up, 12 boards coming up. And likewise, I had all those questions that were not only in my mind, but something that my friends kept asking me, something that even I knew my parents had on the top of their mind. But in spite of it, I knew that I want to continue with my passion for shooting without it affecting any of my academic aspirations. And I'm glad that as a 15-year-old kid, I could have the kind of courage to, take that bold decision and hold on to it, because that is what I did over the next few years. I focused on my 12th grade. I focused on my graduation. Graduated with very good grades, went on to pursue my chartered accountancy and completed it. Now I'm working in consulting. And all this happened by the side of continuing with my passion for shooting, growing as a shooter, having a 7-year stint with the Indian rifle shooting team, winning more than 117 medals, and even going on to start my own sports-based NGO. So, at the end of it, if there's something I would like to share with everyone, it would be that find your passion and hold on to it. If you have the grit to stay committed to your passion or to your dreams, nothing is impossible.
Thank you so much, Priyal. I think I'm very connected to you because I'm the kind of person who also follows my heart, and I've been trying that. I think in school I wasn't really. I was just following the society and everything. But then there is one point where you kind of I think I should take some bold decision, like what you said. I admire that courage. Even now, taking this decision itself, I think for me personally is also very challenging. It's not easy. Definitely, there is a lot of hard work to put into. So I think I will start with our session. So my very first question, Priyal, you can share this based on your experience. So is there a gap between what you studied when you were in the college and what you actually apply at work? And if there is, then advice on how to bridge that.
Yeah, so everything that you study at college doesn't have a great practical application or great uh, practical implication as you would look at it. So there is that gap that stays, and I think that's something that is inevitable, or that's with every degree, which is why I would highly recommend youngsters that when you go to college, don't just go there to score your grades or score your marks, to have a fancy mark sheet at the end of it, because okay, fine, marks are important. Having great marks always helps. A very strong mark sheet speaks about your capabilities, or a good GPA can always be an added benefit places, but that's not everything. Focus on the other aspects also that college life has, the other opportunities that every campus or university has to offer, like being a part of different forums and clubs, taking up extracurriculars, putting yourself out there, taking up like leadership roles, because college is the kind of time and place where you can take risks, you can try something new, be it taking up internships that you are not too confident about or not sure about, trying out different roles, starting a venture of your own or starting an organization of your own, leading an event, leading a particular program. So this is the time you can actually put yourself out there and take those risks, because you are in a position to take those risks. At the same time, it's a kind of an environment where even if you goof up, you have your professors, you have your seniors from college, you have mentors to look up to. So I would say do not limit the 3 years or 4 years of your college just to opening up books, reading content out of it, reproducing it on a piece of paper, and getting a mark sheet. Make sure you make the most out of these 3 or 4 years. One thing that absolutely helped me a lot was like interacting with my seniors, and I would highly encourage everyone to do that. Make sure you play that alma mater card or that alumni card. Reach out to your seniors, speak to them, like ask them questions about what you have in your mind, because I know there's a lot of confusion about things you should do, what you should not be doing, opportunities that are there, because you have so many options before you. So reach out to your seniors, ask them for help, set up coffee chats, speak to as many people as possible, but don't just waste this precious time that you have.
Thank you so much, Priyal, for that. So this leads to my second question, which is what is the day-to-day scope for a person in a consulting firm? Maybe you can share on your perspective in terms of a listed companies kind of thing. So the current work job that you have, and I think so that the students and also the fresh graduates, they know what is the scope like, because many of them, they are very confused on a day-to-day basis, what do we do. So yeah, a little bit about that.
Okay. So consulting is a very broad term, and within consulting, you have a lot of different forms of consulting, which is strategy consulting, tech consulting, social impact consulting. So depending on the kind of consulting vertical that you choose, that's the kind of projects or the kind of work that you will be looking into, or the kind of projects that you will be tapped to. So consulting as a career option is nothing but just creative problem solving, because depending on the kind of vertical you are in, you'll have like a wide range of clientele, and clients from global clients from different industries who will be coming to you with different or diverse business problems, or areas in which they want to avail your consulting services, or areas in which they want you to work with them to devise solutions to issues that they are facing. So every project is a new project, and that is personally what I love about consulting, because it's not monotonous. In fact, it's a very dynamic field. Every day is a new day, every project is different, because you're dealing with a different kind of a client with a different problem set, and you have to always be on your toes. It's a very steep learning curve, because you're constantly learning and growing. probably what you're doing today is what it's will be something very different from what you're doing tomorrow. So if you are someone who actually wants that kind of a challenging career option where you're open to learning, where you're open to growing while you're on your career trajectory, you would like to take up different kind of projects, enjoy a direct client facing role, because here you'll be directly interacting with your client. It's a very front end client facing role. You'll have a lot of daily calls lined up with the clients. If this is something that interests you, or this is something you feel you would absolutely love to start your career with, then you should definitely look at consulting.
I think I am also very, very fascinated about consulting. That's why I have founded my own one. So, yeah, that's very interesting perspective on a consulting person. If anyone wants to join in consulting, this is how it is going to be in a day-to-day scope. Okay, my next question, Priyal, for you. How do we be creative at our work or job when our job is very mundane and monotonous?
So I think this is a very personal choice, especially this question becomes very relevant in a work from home environment where you are just at home, you wake up every day, walk a few steps, walk up to your working desk, and then you're supposed to, replicate the same kind of productivity, which actually flows more easily when you dress up and show up to work, because it's very different when you go to office. You're dressing up, you're traveling to work, then there is this designated work environment where you're working and you're surrounded by people who are working. So a different kind of environment, a different kind of attitude sets in there, and automatically your productivity is on a higher side. And trying to replicate that at home can be a task. And in fact, on some days, this can actually make you feel very bored out, or make you feel that what you're doing is very mundane or monotonous. But you should have these little hacks that you should always follow, or these little tricks that you should have. For example, irrespective of what your office schedule is or what time your day starts, make sure you start your day at a fixed time. You just don't wake up and open your laptop screen when you get onto there. Make sure you follow the same ritual that you used to follow when you would otherwise go to office. That is, get ready, have your breakfast on time, actually dress up. Because I did read this research study where like trying to do work in your home clothes versus doing logging into work after actually dressing up properly for work actually makes a big difference in the way you approach things. So if that works for you, because this is something that works for me, there are some days where I actually want to dress up like I'm actually going to work and log into meetings where I would want to voluntarily keep the camera on. So if that is the kind of person you are, then do all these conscious things, put in these conscious efforts, have your designated breaks, maintain a work diary, write your task, try and speak to as many people within the firm as you can, get onto coffee chats, and have check-ins with your manager, have check-in with your seniors. So I know the work from home environment can be really tough to cope with, but make sure you are making a conscious effort to put in these extra efforts, or do these extra things that actually make you not feel disconnected or doesn't make work go boring. And personally, I feel speaking to your manager, speaking to other seniors at work helps a great way, because at any point of time, if you feel you're stuck or you're not growing, these are the people who give you the best advice to make sure that you don't feel stuck anywhere, you're constantly growing, or they actually open a lot of doors or opportunities for you. So this is something that has personally helped me, because it's very simple. They are at where you are today was where they were probably a few years back when they were climbing their corporate ladder, or where they were at the same designation as you. So they totally understand and relate to the kind of situation you are in. So I would highly encourage you to do all these things that I just stated.
I think one of the things I really love is dressing up, and because I do that too, Priyal, and it really, really worked. Because I think I also kind of lose motivation after some time. You see, working from home, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
When you get up, you put your coat and everything, so it looks like you are really at work, and that itself actually boosts your confidence and motivation.
A lot.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Sherry. My next question would be, when did you start working in this field, accounting field especially, and how do you balance yourself with so many fields at the same time, which I mean your sports as well as your career?
So I think I'm a sucker for Google calendars. I am very, I'm a control freak that way. I want my week planned in advance. I want my day planned in advance. I even maintain a diary where actually write my tasks in advance. So the previous day or the previous week, I actually then look at these tasks that I have in store for the coming week or for the coming day. I start compartmentalizing them or prioritizing them in different buckets as to high priority, medium priority, and less priority. And then I try to tick it off. So of course, I am very high on planning. In fact, Sunday evenings is when I dedicate time. I take out an hour and a half to plan the week ahead. So I think planning always helps me stay at the top of my game. But other than that, also, one technique that I follow is I use these hyper productivity hacks, because during your day, there are certain pockets when you know that your productivity is at a 200%. And these are those little pockets, or these little 45 minutes, 50 minutes pockets where you can actually squeeze in more work than you can accomplish over 3 or 4 hours. So I have identified these HPPs or hyper productivity pockets for me. And for me, there's a general observation that the 1 hour immediately after dinner is when I am probably the most productive, because everything is much more relaxed at home, and I have the kind of seclusion, or I have the kind of peace to work on my task. Likewise, in the morning, just when I start my day, I am very charged up, and my productivity is at a very high the first 1 or 2 hours of the day. So I try to squeeze in maximum tasks during this time. And other than that, also, I have very recently started making the most of the time that you have in the morning. That is those few hours before you log into work, because those hours are not going to come back to you. So all the other tasks and the activities I have, I try and tick off them. So when I actually start off my day or actually log into work, I know that I'm done with most of the tasks for the day, and all I have to focus on is now the office related stuff and a few things probably before I go to bed. So I think planning your day, managing your time, and actually understanding how your productivity fluctuates or works during the day, and then trying to squeeze in most during those hours that you feel you are at the most or at the peak of your productivity really works for me.
So being aware of your own self is the first step. Yeah, so whether you are a productive person, and some people they are productive at night more than the morning. So you understand yourself better than anyone else. Yeah, thank you so much, Priya. So my next question is, what's the one thing a student in university or college can do now at the moment to gain the practical experience?
So I think as much as we all hate work from home, one great advantage of it is you don't have to really relocate to another city or another town or state if you want to pursue any internship. So this is one advice that I've been giving to a lot of students, is make the most of this extra time that you have in hand, because ordinarily, had the work from home situation not been there, if they had to pursue any internship, it would come with all the challenges and the costs associated with relocating to another city and pursuing it. So I would suggest, now that you have the option to actually work anywhere from the comfort of your home, make the most out of it. Don't discount or undermine or restrict yourself that, okay, fine, this internship feels too far-fetched, or I am not competent enough for it, or whether I'll not be able to perform well. Like, internships are the kind of opportunities, or they are the ones that provide you that kind of a level playing field where you can actually put yourself to test. So don't restrict yourself, don't self-exclude yourself from anything. If you feel you want to try an internship out, you feel that this is your dream organization, this is something that you really see yourself working at, I would say apply. Go for it. And again, don't restrict yourself to only domestic internships. There are a lot of organizations out there, especially startups in the global and international space, who are looking to tap the best talent, not only from their home countries, but from other countries, and are comfortable with interns who want to work with them from other countries. So I would say even do that, because as students, having that kind of experience, not only at a personal level, but even on your CV, where you can quote that you work with an international startup, or you provided any kind of consulting services to an international firm, or you work with a global team where people from different nationalities are working, is actually a great value add. Because as freshers, when you step into an interview, there is so much more experience that you bring to the table, so many more things that you can discuss, or you can share with the interviewer in comparison to the other candidates who will probably be sitting for the same interview. So I would say make the most of it. Like, really look at these international internship opportunities, a lot of portals out there. Go all out, make the most of the time you have right now.
Okay, thank you so much, Priyal, for that. So now I am towards the end of today's session. My last question. Share with us your one mistake that you made when you were a student, which the adult you now would want to change at that point of time.
So I think one big mistake that I made, which I just mentioned, is I used to discount myself at every stage. Very initially, in fact, when I even started off shooting as a kid, I wanted to do a lot of things. I had big dreams, I had crazy visions, but I used to develop the cold feet where I would dare to dream, but when it actually came to putting myself out there, I used to be like, okay, am I going to make it? What if I fail? And very initially, I would need that kind of support from my mom, because I knew that if my mom bet on me, I can bet on myself. So a lot of support was needed from her. And it was after a lot of initial pushing and failing, because there was one thing that sport very beautifully taught me is I used to dread failure. But after a few failures in shooting, and that comes with every game, because that is what sport teaches us. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And after a point where I started looking at failure but as nothing but a stepping stone to success, I think that was the big turning point for me, because after that point I was just like, if I want something, I'm going to go for it. Even if I fail or even if I don't get there, I will definitely be closer to where I see myself than I am today, or closer to where I see myself than I would have been had I not even tried. So I think not limiting myself anymore, or stopping to discount myself, or actually not fearing failure and pursuing any goal or dream that I have was something that I did not do when I was at in the college, or probably in high school, which is something I still regret today. Because had I had the kind of attitude I have right now, I know there was so much more I could have done with the opportunities that I had, or the opportunities I could have tapped onto back then.
Thank you so much, Priyal. I think I am just inspired with whatever you said. I think there is many lessons we all can take and apply in our life, because it's not just about listening to videos and listening to sharings from so many successful people, including you. It's just applying one little thing that you have told here in our life. I think that makes a lot of difference. Thank you so much for your wisdom and your time. So, do you have any last few words you want to share, Priyal, to this audience itself?
Yes, of course. I mean, especially to college students out there, like I have already mentioned in whatever insights I shared, like don't limit yourself, go all out. This is the kind of time where you can actually experiment, take risks, do so many things. So make the most of it. And in addition to that, if there is any way in which I can support you or probably guide you, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. I generally am not very active during weekdays, but during weekends, I try and answer or get back to each and every DM that I have. And if there is any way in which I can help you or connect you with someone who can probably be of help of you, I will definitely do that. So feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you so much, Priyal. I had a great time interviewing you. See you soon and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.